reflexes.
I don't have eyes in the back of my head. I can't hear a flea walking. I am not in any way Superman.
Yeah. Well, I'm a second-degree black belt.
Give it another 1,000 years.
Yeah. I got it. Oh. Jesus.
Smooth demonstration, Harry.
Sit on it, Dan.
I still have questions.
Yeah, I do too, John. I mean, are we done with prehistory yet? Remember any of your original language?
A little. One thing hasn't changed much.
Did you ever do any cave art?
Do you know the rock art at Les Aziz?
Mm-hmm.
It was the work of a man named Gurard. He did a pretty good job. He would draw the animals that we hoped to find, to eat. One day after a fruitless hunt, our chief stomped his teeth out because his magic had failed him. After that, someone had to chew his food for him. Finally, he got, I suspect, infected jaw. He was abandoned.
It's awful.
You have to know what to kill.
Is this why all your students say your knowledge of history is so amazing?
No, that's mostly based on study. Remember, it's one man, one place at a time. My solitary viewpoint of a world I knew almost nothing about.
Well, let's talk about what you say you do know about. Historical times.
Don't encourage him.
Edith.
Next few thousand years, it got warmer.
A few thousand years. See, now, I know you're guessing.
You can't get there from here, Hart.
Well, then, pray continue.
We hunted reindeer, mammoths.
Bison, horses. The game retreated northward as the climate changed. You got the idea of growing food rather than gathering it, raising animals rather than hunting them. Am I getting warm here? I bet I am. Lakeside living becomes commonplace, fishing, fouling. Come on! John, this is out of any textbook.
Even yours. You got most of it right. Eventually, I headed to the east. I'd grown curious about the world. I'd gotten the hang of going it alone, learning how to fit in when I wanted to.
East. Towards the rising sun.
Yes. I thought it might be warmer there. That's when I saw an ocean. Mediterranean, probably. It was around the beginning of the Bronze Age. So I followed the trade routes from the east. Copper, tin. Learning languages as I went. Everywhere. Creation myths. New gods. So many, so different. I finally realized that it was probably all hogwash. So I was Sumerian for 2,000 years. Then finally Babylonian, under Hammurabi, great man. And I sailed as a Phoenician for a time. See, moving on had been easier as a hunter-gatherer. Difficult when villages emerged. Tougher still in city-states where authority was centralized. Strangers were suspect. It seemed as though I was always moving on. I learned some new tricks. Even faked my death a couple of times. I continued east. To India. Luckily at the time of Buddha.
Luckily.
Most extraordinary man I've ever known. He taught me things I'd never thought about before.
You studied with the Buddha?
Until he died. He knew there was something different about me. I never told him.
This is fascinating. I almost wish it were true.
Yeah, if it was true, why are you telling us? I mean, we might leave here today. We'll go out there, tell everybody.
It would vanish in disbelief. A story that goes around the room. No credibility. Even if I could make you believe me, in a month you wouldn't. Some of you would call me a psychopath. Others would be angry at a pointless joke.
Well, John, some of us are angry now.
This was a bad idea. I love you all, and I do not want to put you through anything.
Then why are you doing it?
Because I wanted to say goodbye.
As yourself. Well, I think you've done that, whoever that self is.
Easy, Edith. We're just grading his homework.
I see what's going on. You're playing the good cop, Dan. That's fine. Just enjoy it. Right? I think this whole thing is just a crock. I should leave, but I'm going to stay. You know why? Because I want to see what the hell this is all about.
Yes, so do I. What is this all about?
Well, let's ask Dr. Freud, who's just arrived. Hey, Will. Will.
Art. John. I'm glad I caught you. Someone mentioned that you were leaving
Called
today?
you, told you that I've lost it. Glad you're here. Things are going in unexpected directions.
Yes, so I hear.
Hi. Are you hungry?
Thank you, no.
Whiskey?
Johnny Walker Green.
Oh, yes. You look very familiar, my dear.
Linda Murphy. I'm in your Tuesday Psych 1 class, Dr. Gruber.
Well, this lesson may be something I could not have imagined. I regret being so obvious about this, John, but these people are all very concerned for you.
Yes, I'm cutting out paper dinosaurs.
I really wish I'd been here from the beginning.
Me too.
Yeah, let me just say something right now. I mean, there's absolutely no way in the whole world for John to prove his story to us. Just like there's no way for us to disprove it. No matter how outrageous we think it is, no matter how highly trained some of us think we are, there's absolutely no way to disprove it. Our friend is either a caveman, a liar, or a nut. So while we're thinking about that, why don't we just go with it? I mean, hell, who knows? He might jolt us into believing it. Or we might jolt him back to reality.
Believing?
Whose reality?
So, you're a caveman.
Yes. I was the Cro-Magnon, I think.
You don't know if you're a caveman or not?
Well, no, I'm sure about that.
A Cro-Magnon, then. When did you first realize this?
When the Cro-Magnon was first identified, when anthropology gave them a name, I had mine.
Well, please continue. I'm sure you must have more to say.
Would you like for me to lie on the couch, Doctor?
As you wish. As a physician, I'm curious. In this enormous lifetime you describe, have you ever been ill?
Sure, as much as anyone.
Seriously ill?
Sometime.
Of what? Do you know?
In prehistory, I can't tell you. Maybe pneumonia once or twice. Last few hundred years, I've gotten over typhoid, yellow fever, smallpox. I survived with the Black Plague.
Bubonic? Oh, that's terrible.
More so than history describes.
And smallpox. But you're not scarred.
I don't scar.
No, John, that is not possible.
Please, let's take John's story at face value and explore it from that perspective. If he doesn't scar, it's no stranger than the rest of it.
John, would you please stop by my lab before you take off? Suffer a few tests from your friendly neighborhood biologist.
I'm leery of labs. Afraid I might go in and stay for 1,000 years while cigarette-smoking men try to figure me out.
You don't think that I would betray you in any way?
The walls have ears.
Medical tests might be a way of proving what you say.
I don't want to prove it.
So you're telling us this, the yarn of the century, and you don't care if we believe it or not?
I guess I shouldn't have expected you to. You're not as crazy as you think I am.
Amen.
I've always liked you.
Well, thank you, dear.
Well, that's changing.
Oh, surely you don't believe this nonsense.
I think we should remain courteous to someone who we've known and trusted, Edith.
Here you sit. You can't break his story. All you can do is thumb your nose at it.
Is that what you're doing, John? Are you laughing at us inside?
I wish you didn't feel that way.
Well, what you're saying, it offends common sense.
So does relativity. Quantum mechanics. That's the way nature works.
But your story doesn't fit into nature as we know it.
But we know so little, Dan. We know so little. I mean, how many of you know 5 geniuses in your field that you disagree with? One you would like to strangle.
Strangle them all.
Dan, it's bad enough we have to listen to Harry's idiotic jokes.
Thank you very much, Edith. Maybe when I'm 110, I'll be as smart as you are.
If you lived as long as John did, you still wouldn't grow up.
Oh, come on, guys, take it easy. How often do we get to meet someone who says he's a Stone Age man?
Once is enough.
Edith.
All right, a guy with your mind, you'd have studied a great deal.
I have 10 degrees, including all of yours. Except yours, Will.
That makes me feel a trifle Lilliputian.
That's over the span of 170 years. I got my biology degree at Oxford in 1840. So I'm a little behind the times. The same in other areas. I can't keep up with the new stuff that comes along. No one can. Not even in their specialty.
So much for the myth of the super-wise, all-knowing immortal.
I see your point, John. No matter how long a man lives, he can't be in advance of his times. He can't know more than the best of the race knows. If that. I mean, when the world learned it was around, you learned it.
It took some time. It was traveled slowly before communications were fancy. There were social obstacles, preconceptions, screams from the church.
10 doctorates. That's impressive, John. Did you teach them?
Some. But you might have all done the same. Living 14,000 years didn't make me a genius. I just had time.
Time. We can't see it, we can't hear it, we can't weigh it, we can't measure it in a laboratory. It's our subjective sense of becoming what we are. Instead of what we were a nanosecond ago, becoming what we will be in another nanosecond. The whole BC time is a landscape existing before and behind us, and we move through it, slice by slice.
Clocks measure time.
No, they measure themselves. The objective referent of a clock is another clock.
Very interesting. What has it got to do with John?